Hello. Hello, good morning. Today is Monday, June 10th, and we have something to discuss today, haven't we? Um, I'm here live. I'm doing the plan. If you guys missed it, on Friday night, I did my video that I mentioned I was going to do with kind of health updates and channel updates about how I'm going to do my channel moving forward and how I'm doing as a person because I've been gone for a while. So if you want to watch that, good morning, Amanda. If you want to watch that, then you'll have some context for what I mean about I'm doing the plan. I'm doing the topical streams essentially instead of making a lot of videos, and I'm leaning more into my channel title. I'm here to yell, not necessarily deep dive all the time. And this is certainly a situation that makes me want to yell. So, let's do it. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to discuss. Guys, okay. The Tana mongeau accusation against Cody Co, which is not a new accusation necessarily, but it is new that Tana has officially, unwaveringly, definitively said that she was 17 years old when she and Cody Co slept together. And that Cody was 25 at the time is what people are, is the thing is, so the clip where Tana says this, here, let me just go to the clip, because you'll see in the clip she doesn't give out Cody's age at the time that they would have slept together, but I think it's known that he's 8 years older than her. So let's just take a look at the clip where Tana said this. She was on, I think the tour just ended. This was one of the final stops on her canceled podcast live tour, and she was answering a question, she was doing some rapid fire questions, and one of them was about who had the smallest. It's a little early in the stream, so who had the smallest eggplant of anybody that you've ever slept with? And she said Cody Co. So let me show you that so that it's not just coming out of my mouth. Also, by the way, everything that I'm saying in this stream is allegations and speculation and my commentary upon allegations. It's my opinions, it's my speculation. I'm showing you what's been said, and then I'm going to talk about it. Word on the street from Adam McIntyre is that this was not supposed to be an event, a live event where recording was allowed. So whatever this recording is, it was taken a little bit, sketchily. It's a bittersweet thing. It's a double-edged sword because Tana did not consent to this recording being made. She asked people not to record during this tour so that she could talk, according to Adam McIntyre, so that she could talk about more personal and real things. Under the table. That's a good that's a good way to put it. But at the same time, for us, on behalf of who are upset on behalf of Tana, we're happy to have this finally solidified and finally definitively said how old Cody was, or no, how old she was at the time that she and Cody hooked up. So it's tough. I don't know. I think that Tana probably is smart enough to know that at this live event, you can ask people not to record, but I think she knows her fans are not going to necessarily follow that 100%. So that's the intro for the recording, which the one with great audio was shown on H3H3. So that's the one I'm going to show you guys. Give me just a sweet moment to pull this up. There we go. I'm just going to scoot right to the clip where she says it. And let me know after I play this if you can hear it. If not, I will happily play it again. Oh, wait. My volume is down. Let me try that again. Nope. Oh my God. Can I use a computer today? Good morning. Okay.
Everywhere, and I shouldn't have done it.
I stayed in this.
Who's the smallest dick you've ever had sex with? Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Co.
That's a lot. She didn't have to answer that. As a man, that's gotta hurt. Regardless of
I don't care about the whole manhood thing, truly.
everything going out saying about a man's penis, that's just.
Well, like you said, is the name of his podcast.
That's what we said. Yeah, Tiny
owning
Meat
it.
Gang. Maybe he's proud of it.
Go. There you go.
Delete the videos. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that.
Then there's the big accusation. She says, "I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that." What?
Is the sound okay? Was it too loud? Because to me it felt a little loud. But I'm not hearing it the way that you all are. And now the Wi-Fi is going. I swear. And my skin is reacting because I had the audacity to touch my own collarbone. Just let me know in the chat if you can hear it well. I'm gonna get the Wi-Fi issue fixed. I need to order a very long Ethernet cable. But so there we have a clip of Tana saying the smallest eggplant was Cody Co, and she can say that because she was 17 at the time. I don't know why that necessarily makes her qualified to say that. I'll just come out and say that, but whatever. This is what she says. Now, as I mentioned before, this is not the first time that this has been talked about and has been made known. For example, there's a video by Marky from 2 years ago, specifically December 8th of 2021. So really more like 2.5 years ago, because that's how YouTube says anything that's between 2 and 3 years ago is 2 years ago, but it was 2.5 years ago, essentially. It was a little echoey in the H3H3, but the Tana part was clear, good. Sound is good for me, bit of an echo, but I don't mind. Oh, dang it. Okay. If I do the proper echo cancellation, the sound gets super warped. Okay, if it's not too bad, I'm going to leave it like this, but let me know if it gets awful, okay? So I'm going to show you a clip from Marky from December of 2021, where the same thing is being discussed, but there's a difference in how it's being discussed. So let's look at this.
But I do have the clip here, and it's Tana Mongeau talking about when she was 17 or 18, doesn't really specify which one. She slept with a couple of YouTubers and mentioned a couple names.
So 2 things. 3 things, really. 1, this is another clip from the canceled podcast. 2, she waffles on whether she was 17 or 18 at the time. And 3, she mentions a second person who I'm very curious about. So let's just take a little look.
And that's not right. That's not correct. I know now. I was 17 at the time, 18. Like, that's not what you do. But at the time, it was just like, oh, you think I'm this and you're treating me and calling me all these names and treating me really horribly and like using me for a lot of money. And like,
if you're going to say I'm cheating, okay, I'm going to cheat.
And it's like, if you're using me for mad money and making me buy all this shit for you and like, you know, forcing me to fly out to you just to be like super emotionally and like psychotically abusive.
Just to be clear, at this point, she's not talking about Cody Co. She's talking about a relationship that she was in at the time and how she reacted to that relationship by hooking up with Cody Co. You'll see.
Like, shit, okay, bet. And so I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out Caylen, shout out Cody Co.
So yeah, 2.
No! I didn't mean to skip ahead like that. So we've got some additional information there. Now, I don't know the person that was mentioned. I don't know the first person that she mentioned. Oh, okay, I got the Wi-Fi sign. Ugh. So when the Wi-Fi is down, is like low, and I can see that it's low, what I'm going to do is stop my camera for the time being until I get the good Ethernet cord, because this tends to help. There we go. And you can see here the photo of the patron saint of this channel, Dixie, my sweet Singaporean who did pass away this past October. So she's my icon on when my camera is stopped, and she'll be here when I stop the camera because the Wi-Fi is giving me a problem. So, as I mentioned, some differences in the story. Specific, like, I don't know the Caylen guy. If anybody knows who that is, let me know in the chat. And also, if anybody knows any more information about this besides what I'm going to present here today, I'm going to continue. I'm not done presenting everything, but let me know any updates in the chat or any clarifications. This is a discussion channel officially. So I'm here to discuss. Okay, I'm back. So, and now the Wi-Fi is down again. Okay. So, the big things. I don't know who this JC guy is, but that's a problem as well, depending on his age. Okay. Thank you, Nicole. JC Caylen was in O2L, an early YouTube collab channel. Yeah. Okay. So that might be an angle of this that I want to look into more and maybe do a follow-up figuring out more about that. Thank you. I think that what's also evident in this clip from Tana that Marky is showing is that she says definitively, I was 17 at the time, 18. She says, I was 17 at the time, 18, to correct herself, but also I think to kind of muddy the waters there, so that something that's so the thing that's happening right now didn't happen at the end of 2021. She wanted, I think she probably had better feelings toward Cody at that time. I don't know what's changed over the past 2.5 years, but it seems like now she's saying things a little more clearly. I think we can be here. Oh! Nicole. No prob, just checked, and JC and Tana are 6 years apart, so he was like 23 or so when she was 17. All right, we're going to talk about JC as well. I don't know much about him, but I'm about to. Thank you very much, Nicole. So let's just listen to this again, because now there's been a few minutes of
Now I've got to say, since I've
yelling. Audio issues and whatever. So let's just review what Miss Tana said back in 2021.
YouTubers have mentioned a couple names.
And that's not right. That's not correct. I know now. I was 17 at the time, 18. Like,
17 at the time, 18. Covered her tracks.
that's not what you do, but at the time it was just me, and
If
like,
you're gonna say I'm cheating, okay, I'm gonna cheat.
and it's like if you're using me for mad money and making me buy hella shit for you and like, you know, forcing me to fly out to you just to be like super emotionally and like psychotically abusive, like shit, okay, bet. And so I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Caylen, shout out Cody Co.
So yeah.
So yeah. I'm just gonna look at my notes real quick. So at the time when this is supposed to have happened, people are estimating that this would have been around 8 years ago, surrounding the filming of this collab video between Tana and Cody Co. I'm going to share it. It's called the the shittiest video ever featuring Cody Co. Love it. I don't want to like sit here and watch this video, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, and people are saying, excuse me, that it's a very flirty video. It's like there's not much content there. It's just they sit there and flirt a bit. And I've seen, from what I've seen of it, that's an accurate assessment. Excuse me. And so what I am going to point out real quick is just to clarify and verify. I don't know if you can see that over here, but this video was published May 13th of 2016. Yeah, you should be able to see that. So back in 2016 is when Cody was 25, Tana was 17 officially, and or at least this is the theory, this is the running theory. We don't know for sure because, very interesting to me, Tana has not said anything about this situation at all. Not on her TikTok, not on her Instagram, not on her personal YouTube channel, not on the canceled podcast YouTube channel since she said this about 6-7 days ago. So if she wanted to correct the record on this, if she wanted to say, oh guys, I misspoke. Oopsie poopsie, I misspoke. I should have done like I did the first time and say I was 17 at the time, I mean 18. She could have said that by now. She could have easily come forward and corrected the public perception if the public perception was wrong. She hasn't done that, which is very interesting to me, and which is what makes me believe, like I said before, that maybe this time, I don't know what's happened in the past 2.5 years, but maybe this time she's ready and willing to speak much more clearly, much more definitively about this, and go ahead and say, I was 17 at the time that this took place. So, what matters a lot, I have two more thoughts about this. What matters a lot in this situation with the age gap are the two sides of legality and morality. I think that most of us know that a 25-year-old sleeping with a 17-year-old, allegedly, that's a massive age gap. That's 8-ish years. And especially, we all know here in 2024 that the human brain, the prefrontal cortex, that's it, finishes development when you're around 25 years old. And it's certainly nowhere near by 17 years old. So that's a big problem. Like when I was 24, I remember like that being the moment once I turned 24, I was like, oh, I am in my mid 20s. I feel like I'm too old to date anybody with the word teen in their age. I don't want to date a 19-year-old or 18-year-old, even though it's legal. I certainly don't want to date anybody younger because I felt like a cradle robber just thinking about being with somebody who was a teenager, even if they were a teen adult who I was legally allowed to be with. There has to be an element of morality in this conversation, not just the legal, what is the age of consent? And the reason I bring that up is because Adam McIntyre was saying that that's a big part of the conversation that's going on right now, is that people are like, oh, well, the age of consent is 16. So let's talk about that, because that is something I would especially like to correct the record about, or at least clarify. The age of consent. First of all, There is not one age of consent in the United States. Let me go to actually an age of consent article, a map that was made by a law firm in 2016. So this would have been relevant and applicable to this situation specifically. Let me pull that up real quick. And maybe with some luck, I'll be able to put my face back on screen. If the Wi-Fi stays stable. Because now I'm not going to a video, I'm going to a web page. Okay. So this article is from BH Law Firm, and they specifically address the idea of whether or not there's a uniform age of consent for all 50 states in the United States. They start out by saying, no, there is not. And if someone engages in sexual activity with a person younger than the age of consent in that state, the person could be charged with statutory R-word or other offenses depending on the nature of the contact. So in 2016, these are the 50 states of the USA. These were their consent ages. And if you're like me and you don't know the names of all the different states, or at least where they are on the map, luckily they've made this chart. So we can scroll by name of state. Now, I wasn't sure exactly how to pinpoint this, but let me know if you know. I believe that at the time of this, Tana was living in Las Vegas, Nevada, so she would fall under whatever is Nevada's law. I believe at this time Cody Co was living in California. I am not certain about that though. If anybody knows where Cody Co was living at the time of this, also, like that would help a lot with the legal side of this conversation. But I'm going to move forward and I'm going to watch the chat, but I'm going to move forward under the thing. Sorry, I was just looking at the Wi-Fi. Okay. I'm going to move forward with the idea that they live in two different states with two different ages of consent. Then what really matters in this situation, if you're going to look at it from a legal standpoint and leave morals behind, if your morals are based solely on the laws of the land, which I don't think is a good idea, but if that's who you are and how you're living, then if this took place and they hooked up and slept together allegedly in Nevada, I'm not sure which one, then the age of consent there is 16. That could have been fine. Legally. If it was in California, the age of consent in California was 18 at that time. They're doing a collab video where they're there together in person. So they're at somebody's house. They're either in Nevada or in California, in my theory that that's where Cody lived at that time. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert. I was trying to figure out where Cody lived in 2016 and I was not making progress. If anybody knows, please let me know. Oh, Nicole brings the receipts. Thank you. So according to Nicole and according to like a very brief research I was able to do, it does look like he was living in California at that time. Thank you. Nicole, I'm so glad you showed up. So if it's true that this took place around the filming of this collab video, the shittiest video ever featuring Cody Co on Tana's channel, if that was filmed in California and things took place in California, that is a huge legal problem, allegedly, my speculation, my opinion, looking at these laws. If it took place in Nevada, less of a legal problem, I think. But I do wonder if Cody was and I truly, this is a genuine question that I have. I do not know the answer to this. If you're in the legal profession, tell me, tell me what you think on this in the comments or in the chat. If Cody lives in a state where the age of consent is 18 and he crossed state lines essentially going to Nevada where the age of consent is 16 and then has sex with a minor, a 17-year-old, is that a problem? Because crossing state lines is a problem. But I know that most of the time the issue is the minor crossing the state line. Like the issue would be if he had brought Tana over to California so that they, so then that also could be, is there, genuine question, are there more problems legally because they lived in two different states with two different ages of consent? That is a question that I have. I'm not making an accusation, but that is a question that I have. Just gonna let that process because I didn't think about that part before. So from a legal standpoint, oh boy. So clearly we can see from a legal standpoint, things are at least sketchy. Things are not clear, but they don't look good. And yes. Thank you, Jack-o'-lantern. This is my thought process. I think that would be a problem. The crossing state lines issue. I am no lawyer, but my morals are making me ill at the idea of an adult, 25 at that time, going to another state to sleep with a minor. That's how I'm feeling too. I think we can, we can talk all we want, all of us uneducated non-lawyers, about what we think the legal issue may or may not be here. And I think it's worth exploring. I think there really could be something going on. But regardless of that, at the end of the day, YouTube does not run on like laws and laws and legal practices only, as far as like the standards and that we hold ourselves to and that we hold our creators to. I think I'm okay to have my face on. Okay. We hold influencers to a certain moral code because of the fact that they are influencing the people around them. And even regardless of whether Cody was an influencer or not, I'm so sorry. It's weird. It's weird for a 25-year-old to go and get with a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old. In my opinion, legal? Maybe. Weird? Yeah. For me, weird. Yeah, I'm sorry. And what I'll also say is, if you find yourself in a situation, a situationship, a flirtationship, and the other, if you're, in your 20s and there's a younger person, perhaps who's coming on to you, who's flirting with you, if maybe that was the case here, I don't know. I'm just coming up with reasons that Cody could give. You as the older, wiser person whose brain is more developed, literally it's your job, it's your responsibility to set the boundary and to friend zone and to, with as much grace and kindness as you can, say, I'm too old for you. We can't, whatever you're thinking cannot happen. That's part of, that's part of what makes this so morally weird. So and that's really the big problem that I have here. I also have a problem with the idea of people really relying a lot on the age of consent as like, well, it might have been okay. Well, it also might have not. You know, it just as equally likely that it might have been okay as that it might not have been okay. So what if we just use our morals to guide us on this one? Regardless of the legalities, though, let's also just remember this is why there are laws around the age of consent. This is why age matters when you do sexual things with other people. It seems, like I said, in the past, Tana was trying to muddy the waters to not make Cody look so bad, because it seems, you know, back in 2.5 years ago when she first talked about this, when Marky reported on it, maybe there was still some positive feelings between the two of them. There was still some friendship, still some relationship, and so she was trying to say, I was 17, I mean I was 18, to try to just cover for Cody. But now, as more time has passed, 8 years later, she's no longer 17 or 18. She's now 25, 26, 27 herself. Math? Can I? No. 25-ish herself. So she's now around the age of where Cody was when he slept with her. And she can now say, oh, that was weird. That was not good. I think now that I think about it, that was bad. And it seems like maybe she mentioned her age definitively as being 17 because she finally wants to call Cody out about this officially, definitively. We need to have a talk about how this was wrong. Also gross. And as I said, once this video came out, it's been about 6-7 days since it came out. Tana has had plenty of time over the past, 6 or 7 days to correct the narrative, to come out and state, oopsie, I didn't mean to say 17. I meant 18. My bad. Sorry, Cody. She hasn't done that. So that makes me think that she is standing firm in whatever she had to say. So that leads me to believe that it's more likely true because she's been consistent over time, in my opinion. Like, when she talks about this, the first thing she says is, I was 17 at the time, 18. She starts with 17, which makes me think that that's really the true answer. And then she covers by saying 18. She's always brought up 17 as an option. So I see this as her being consistent and her finally feeling like I can stand in this officially now here in 2024. Yeah, it sucks when we find out that creators that we like are up to this shit or were 8 years ago, I don't know what I think should happen to Cody. A lot of times in situations like this, I like to refrain from saying anything until I hear from the other person. I don't expect that I'm gonna hear from Cody. Not I, us, we are gonna hear from Cody about this. Because I think that's how he's gotten away so far with this just kind of being swept under the rug. I mean, it's a little bit more elevated now, this story, because H3 commented on it, and once H3 comments on something, you know that it's a big deal. But this was reported on again in December of 21. Marky was not the only person, and it didn't really pick up much steam. People didn't really hammer him about it then. So I think he's thinking, if I just don't respond to this, I'll let it blow over, and it will. I would hope that he would take a little bit of a lesson from what happened with Colleen Ballinger last summer about how just sitting and not responding does not necessarily help you when it comes to sexual things that you may or may not have committed against a minor. I just, We have our own moral code on the internet. Sexual stuff against minors is something that breaks that moral code, as it should for outside of the internet as well. But it's, I don't love that age of consent map has so many places that 16 is the age of consent, but this is America and everything is fucked here, so whatever. So anyways, that's what I have so far on this story. Thank you for those who are bringing in some facts in the stream. Tana will be 26 on the 24th of June, I imagine. So yeah, so she's now 25. She's almost 26, so she's around the age that Cody was at the time that this happened. I think that she has new perspective on the issue, is what I'll say about that. And this is a good point too. I'm so tired of people saying age of consent. This is for the teenagers. It's for teenagers to be able to have sex without legal problems, not nasty old pervs to touch kids with no issue. That's a good point. That's a good point. It's not about protecting the older person, but that's how a lot of people see it, or that's how a lot of people are utilizing those laws. And I don't like it either. And it's like the lamest argument you can make in this type of situation, in my opinion. Anyway, this might be the end of this stream. I might just be doing a quick one today. I'm looking back through the chat. Yeah. T overflow 100% at 25. I wanted nothing to do with 19 or even 20-year-olds. Same. I feel like there's just something that happens once you reach your mid 20s where it's like, those 18-year-olds sure do look like children. Yeah, B loves too. I know the feeling. To be fair, even at 21, I was already on the fence with dating an 18-year-old. And can I just say, especially until you're like 22, 23, 24, 25 years old, those early to mid 20s, and all through your childhood, it's always such an achievement and such an accomplishment and such a upgrade, such a level up every year older that you get. And I feel like, at least when I was a kid, there was always I'm older than you, I don't want to hang out with you. Just from it, immature or not, just from a status symbol kind of way of being. And I feel like that was part of friend groups. That was part of being at school. The seniors didn't want to hang out with the freshmen. They might hang out with a sophomore. They would consider a junior, but mostly the seniors wanted to hang out to themselves, whatever. Age is such an important factor the younger you are. And that includes when you're 25. I'm so sorry. When I was 25, I didn't want to be hanging out too much with making new friends with 18-year-olds, 17. We weren't in the same stage of life. We didn't have a lot in common. We didn't have a lot of the same thought processes, the same way of seeing the world, essentially. I was living out in the world independent of my parents. I was not sharing life the same with a 17 or 18-year-old, and it didn't really seem like the right, those were not friendships and relationships that I pursued. So I just, not that this was necessarily a relationship, but the friendship, there's been some kind of a camaraderie and a friendship between the two of them over these years. I just, I feel like there is a general gut feeling here, regardless of what the legalities are or are not, honestly. So, all that being said, this is what we have so far. Thank you for those who stopped in today and contributed to the information in this stream. I'm going to look up this JC guy. So I might do a follow-up on this just to see his whole deal. Well, maybe. I'm going to say maybe, because maybe not a lot is going to come out of my search. Maybe a lot is, I'm not sure. And I have at least 2 more topics that I want to stream about this week. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video so it can get some traction, and put your notifications on, because I will be streaming for the most part moving forward. I will probably rarely be doing videos, especially deep dives. So, or even if I do a deep dive, I'll still do it in a live stream format. That's my plan moving forward, just because of my life and the schedule that I have. So, oh, thank you, Ara. The JC rabbit hole is a tough one. Fair warning. Thank you. Thank you for the warning, because I might not, well, I'll see. I'll see what I find. I'll see what I find. Thank you. If it's too much for me, then I may or may not report on it. I don't want to commit. But we'll see, because I just think it's interesting that people back in 2021 made videos about, oh, Tana said that she slept with Cody Co. And that has stuck in people's minds, but it hasn't really stuck in people's minds about JC. Like, when people have been talking about this story, they've been saying, oh, this has been old news that she slept with Cody Co. But they're not bringing up the old news that she slept with JC, whoever, in that similar time frame when she was 17, probably, according to herself. And as Nicole mentioned, he would have been 23. Cruity, I think this is fine. I'm 20, dating a 22-year-old. But I also, while as much as I appreciate you bringing this into the conversation, I think I'm not qualified to give relationship advice, but the chat can help you out. The chat is much more worldly wise than I. So with that being said, I'm going to be on my way. Thank you for those of you who stopped in, and go watch my stream from Friday night if you want to know more about what I've been going through the past couple years, and my plan as I've returned back to YouTube on my terms. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day. What's this, Monday? Have a great week. Peace be with you always. I'll see you again soon. Bye.